Hello and welcome to our World Plone Day session. I'm Sally Kleinfeldt from Jakarta, a US-based company specializing in open source web technologies, especially Plone. And with me is Jeff Bowman. He is the IT manager of the Mountaineers. And Alec Mitchell, one of our developers here at Jakarta, also a former Plone release manager. You might remember him from that. So Jakarta has been working with the Mountaineers on their Plone site since 2013, and we're going to share a bit of that history with you. So with that, I'll maybe turn it over to you, Jeff, for a bit about the Mountaineers' history, and let me know when you want me to dive into a little tour of your site.
Sure. Thanks, Allie. Hi, Alec. The Mountaineers is a nonprofit based in Seattle, Washington. We're volunteer driven, and our mission is helping people explore, conserve, learn about, and enjoy the lands and waters of the Pacific Northwest and beyond. We've been around since 1906, so well past 100 years now. Well-established organization. We teach people how to recreate safely. We have lots of activities going that are all run by volunteers. So that's basically who we are. How we got here was having a website that just partly having several websites out there, all of our committees and branches wanting to have their own space and claiming to be the Mountaineers and people being confused about who we were. So we knew we had to kind of get down to one website and one that worked well for everybody. So that's how we got where we are. We started, like Sally said, in 2013, probably a couple years before that, figuring out what we wanted and engaging people to help us get there. We started the project in earnest in 2013, launched on May 5th, 2014, have made several feature additions and improvements to our website over the years, and recently have partnered with the Colorado Mountain Club, a very similar organization based in I guess Boulder, Colorado, Denver. So they're all over Colorado. I'm not sure where their home base is, but they're certainly Colorado, and they're just like us. They loved our website. They asked if they could basically buy it from us. So we now have a partnership where we're going to be sharing a code base and having two websites that work the same but look a little different because we are different and have a few minor differences. So that's where we are over the past 7-8 years. And we love what we have, and we love what the Jakarta has done for us. So, go ahead, Sally.
All right. Well, let's take a look at the site. So you want to give us a tour and tell me where to go, Jeff?
Sure. Yeah. This is our homepage, and as I said, we're a nonprofit, so we have our big gala this week, which is why we've got that image up. Here in the homepage, we've got our blog, which is we wanted a center well there. That's we wanted a place where people could learn about us in a nice way, easy to add info. We've also got some information about trip reports and activities. You can see those two big green boxes there help people get to find what they want to do quickly. So let's go ahead and go in activities, go to find activities. You can do that. That's perfect.
And while you're talking about this, why don't you give us a little bit of insight into how the members or your volunteers factor into the content on this website? Because I know this website would just not exist were it not for literally hundreds of Mountaineers volunteers that create content.
Actually, we have probably, depending on how you count it, upwards of 3,000 volunteers, and in some way, many of our members are volunteers too in doing stewardship, trail maintenance type projects. But yeah, in terms of adding content to our website, our volunteers do the vast majority of that. They add their activities, which include a beautiful image, titles, descriptions of what they're doing, dates they're doing it. This is in Plone terms, this is a faceted search, so this is an easy way for a member to drill down to what they want to do. Our volunteers have a similar menu that we call them routes and places, where they can pick where they want to go. And once they've done that, once they've picked from a list that looks a lot like this, they get to add their activity, tell them, when we're doing it, what their committee is, all the details about that particular activity. And then people can sign up for it. So we have the start and end dates of activities. We also have a registration period, so they can define when people can actually register. And then, of course, all kinds of details about the activity and where they're going. We use Mapbox for a couple of map points, so people can kind of see where the start and end might be. We also sell books. So if there are books, or also Green Trails Maps is one of our partnerships, people can see what books might go with that in terms of a guidebook, or if it's a course, what book might be helpful in a book that might have required reading or recommended reading for their course. And as part of the when they sign up, they can actually add it to their cart, so they can have one transaction where they're signing up and paying for everything. Let's see. So do we want to try to sign up for an activity, or just go on from?
No, let's just get a brief overview of the
too much.
site. That'd be too much work.
So we also we have a similar thing for courses where people can use the facet search to find a course they want. Sally, how about here if we go to course overviews?
Sure.
Everybody knows what a facet search looks like now.
Yeah.
So we also wanted to, one of the goals of our website was to make things, simple for people to understand. So we have this course overview page. We also have an activity overview page where we describe what people can learn, what they can do. So clicking on any one of these, we call them course or activity buttons, people can learn more about what courses we offer, what they can learn, how they can improve their skills. So this is a nice feature where if they aren't quite sure what they want, they can kind of learn more about the particular courses and activities we offer before they go into searching for them and signing up for stuff.
Great. I know that, or at least I think I recall that after your site launch, your analytics showed a pretty good effect on your SEO from the new structure of the site. Do you remember that? Do you want to talk at all about that?
Yeah. So we use Google Analytics, and we were. I'm digging down to it. Where'd I have that? I had that handy and went away from it. Let's just do it this way. Okay, I think we nearly doubled. Oh, there it is. Just blew past it. We nearly doubled our page views from our Google Analytics, from our old website to our new website shortly after launch. And we've also grown our membership. We were probably, I think about 9,000 members. And today we have nearly 13,000 members. So we've grown, the website, has helped us grow our membership. We've nearly more than doubled. I think probably to this pardon me, for since our old website, we're probably more than double on our page views at this point. But as of shortly after, a couple months after launch, we were 70% more. So yeah, it's been a big boon to us. More people can find us. More people can better understand who we are and what we do. Looks like Sally's looking at a branch page.
Yeah, I thought we'd just illustrate what you were saying about the fact that your branches wanted to have a presence. So we essentially developed little sub-sites for them.
Yep. So and the nice thing about these pages is the branches, once these were built, don't have to do anything. All of the content on these pages, I mean, they could certainly change the picture if they want to, or that little note of summary. Sally, if you could scroll down the page a little bit.
Oh, sure.
So that latest branch news on the left, and those other portlets on the right with events, those are automatically populated. So branches don't have to do anything to keep us up to date. All they have to do are add blogs specific to their branch, add events, and then those two top ones will take them to their buttons to learn about how they do courses and activities at their particular branch. So that's the courses and activities. They're about pages, a nice overview of the branch and how to get more involved with it. So. Which one did you? Oh, Bellingham. Yeah, Bellingham is not our most active branch.
Well,
maybe go to Seattle. That'll be a good start contrast.
Sure. Let's see. Seattle.
Yeah, let's go to there we go.
Smiling faces.
So then if we go down, if we go to their courses and activities, you'll see they have almost all the course and activity buttons there. So our Seattle branch, that's our biggest branch. Probably half our membership or better, and they offer just about every type of activity and a course in that activity that we have to offer. So
cool. One of the unusual things about this site is how tightly integrated it is with Salesforce.com, which is your CRM, the constituent relationship management system that you use. You want to talk a little bit about how that works and how much that has factored into sort of the success of your website, you think?
Sure. Yeah. So nearly every transaction on our website is synced with Salesforce. So all of our contacts, every time they buy something, courses, activities, donations they make are synced to Salesforce. So we have all that data there that we can use for engagement statistics, for engagement with people. We also, especially with the donations, our development team has all that information there, and they can make grand use of how people interact with us to reach out for donations and all our fundraising efforts. We also use it to connect with our email marketing system. So that's how we actually send out all of our newsletters. What else? We got probably 3 or 4 newsletters a month. Each of our branches, we can use that to help them send a newsletter for their branch. And we also use it for reporting, mostly for staff. But lately, we've been integrating our Salesforce data with Google. There's a connector that allows us to get.
Oop. We just lost your audio, Jeff. Maybe while Jeff is getting back his audio, Alec, you want to say a few words about how the Salesforce to Plone integration works?
I'm sorry, you might. Again,
we've got you back, Jeff.
There we go. We got you back.
My phone. I need to turn my phone, disconnect my phone and my speakerphone. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Did you miss what I was saying, or did you hear me?
We heard most of it. I was just asking Alec to say a little bit about kind of the technical stuff behind the Salesforce Plone connection.
Yeah, it's all pretty bespoke. I don't think we use any specific kind of Plone add-ons for the Salesforce integration. We use the simple Salesforce Python clients, and then almost all of the Salesforce API calls are done via asynchronous tasks in a Celery task queue. So whenever some sort of operation happens through the web, whether that is creating adding a new member, or making a purchase on the site, or even creating some content on the site, depending on the type of content, we create an asynchronous task in Celery that will run, in its own process that gets triggered once the transaction's committed. So that way we don't have to worry too much about transaction synchronization or delaying web responses in order to wait for Salesforce API calls, which can be quite slow and expensive, and we do a lot of them. And then we also have some kind of periodic tasks that run once a day or once an hour that do sort of maintenance and kind of synchronization back and forth between Salesforce and Plone. So that's the basics of it.
Want to say just a little bit about what data is synced back and forth, either Jeff or Alec?
Jeff can probably answer that better than I do,
sure.
because he spends the time in Salesforce, and I certainly know that there's a lot of stuff. And
it might be easy to say what we don't sync from Plone. We from Plone to Salesforce, it basically pushes every time we do something, it tries to send it to Salesforce right away. And it's everything, I would say, except our blogs and pages, things that are just content only. Anytime it involves a person signing up for something, or adding an activity, or a new route place, or a new course, all that data gets synced to Salesforce.
And so that offers the benefit that your volunteers who are creating your courses and activities create all this content, and then it automatically gets synced to Salesforce, which of course they don't have access to Salesforce, but they don't need to, because they've created the content on our website.
All on the website. Right. We do, I think our contacts 4 times a day, we sync back to Salesforce. So if our development team has got an update from one of their donors, that on their contact info, that'll get synced back to Salesforce. And we've got a few lists that we use on the website that we can manually sync from Salesforce back to Plone. A few pick lists.
And from a technical standpoint, because Mountaineers is a nonprofit organization, they can take advantage of Salesforce's nonprofit licensing, but there are some pretty strict kind of per seat number of seat limits that you have for the number of users that can have access, as well as limits on the number of API calls you can make. And so in order to ensure we can use that nonprofit edition without incurring extra charges or doing things like that, we can set up a system where all of these thousands of members have sort of access and profiles, and their activity on the site ends up syncing to Salesforce, but they don't need Salesforce accounts, which is often the traditional way these sort of things work, where people are using Salesforce portals, which can get very, very expensive and have performance issues as well. And then on top of that, we do these kind of batch synchronizations for certain types of operations so that we can synchronize many, many records all at once on a nightly basis or something in a single transaction or a few small transactions, rather than doing it throughout the day or in thousands of transactions. So those sorts of optimizations really help with costs and efficiency.
Yep.
Jeff, you want to say a word, give us a rough idea how many members the Mountaineers has, how many people are sort of active as logged in members of the Plones of the website on a sort of daily basis?
That I don't know. But we have nearly 13,000 members and 3,000 kind of active volunteers who would be creating content.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, it's hard to say how many there'd be. I don't even.
Yeah.
I might be able to figure that out from Salesforce. Alec, is there an easy Plone thing to
I
look
was just
up?
curious if you had some idea of like sort of daily signups and stuff like that for all your courses and activities. This has been an outlier year, of course, with not so many in-person activities.
We made a pretty good switch doing a lot of our stuff online with, Zoom meetings and events and whatnot. So, and people really do want to get outside. So we have been able to do that in our usual small, if anything, it's helping drive us to be smaller groups outside, which is something we desire. So if anything, the pandemic has kind of helped us with that.
Awesome.
Kind of puts nix on carpooling, but otherwise you can
right. Yeah, we did a lot with that carpooling.
Go ahead to do some hiking and climbing.
Let's see, what else? Anything you want to cover about books or any other parts of the site that we didn't really delve into that you especially want to mention? Either of you, actually, Alec, if there's anything of particular interest, I don't know.
I will. The other thing the other unique feature of our website that brings us together are the badges.
Yeah, I thought that was.
So we have this thing called badges, and back on our old website, you could imagine if we use badges as prerequisite to register for an activity, like you have to have a climbing badge to sign up for a climb. We basically, in our old website, had 7 of them, one for each branch that offered the course. Now we have 1. So you take a course, you graduate, you get the 1 badge we offer. It's the 1 badge required for sign up. So it kind of has helped us standardize our curriculum across the board and makes it easier to know that if anybody that's qualified can go on any hike, no matter what the branch is. They've got the same level of training. We've got the same set of standards. So we're not 100% there yet, but it's certainly one of the other big features of our new website that's helped us quite a bit.
Phew, I finally found a badge.
Oh.
There we go. Yep. And each of the courses have. I found a badge, but I didn't actually show it. There we go. There's a badge.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
Each of the courses, I got to this by virtue of coming from this wilderness first aid course, and the courses will have rosters of people who sign up for the course, and each activity that forms a part of the course will have its own rosters, and thus the website tracks, and thus Salesforce also is tracking what all the members of these courses and activities are doing, and the instructors verify that they've completed the things that they need to complete for the badges. Let's see, what else? Anything about the e-commerce side of things?
Yeah, so I guess I got two things come to mind. With e-commerce, one of the things we wanted was one shopping cart, so people can sign up for a course, put that in their shopping cart. If they're joining, they can have their membership in a cart, and if they got books to go with the course, they can add those. So basically, they can add everything to a cart, check out in one transaction, one credit card transaction. So that makes it a lot easier. Our old site didn't quite have all that together. They can even make a donation when they're in the cart. So that was another good feature of our website.
Right. Yeah, that was real important, I remember, to be able to combine and mix and match. We also implemented some promo codes and discounts that people can get and apply to different.
And it's so important, though. The one thing we didn't do is being able to sell event tickets, which we use Eventbrite for, which connects sort of with Salesforce. But with our CMC project, that's one of the things on the dock is to actually be able to sell tickets on both of our websites. So that's that'll kind of complete the cycle of anybody can buy anything for website and it goes in one cart. So
Right. The payment processor for the Mountaineers website is Stripe. When we adopted Stripe, pretty much in the early days of Stripe, I remember David Glick being very excited about discovering Stripe, and what a nice developer experience it was to integrate it, and it kind of inspired us in the future at Jazzcarta to kind of peel off some of the functionality that we had developed in Mountaineers and put it into an add-on called Jazzcarta Shop, which implements that idea of a shopping cart with integration with Stripe or other payment processors. So anyway, you were very inspiring, and the Mountaineers has always been quite generous in allowing us to open source, appropriate things that we create for them. So that's a nice.
Yeah, we definitely like Stripe. That's been a good, been a solid processor for us. So yeah, I got no complaints there. That's.
All right. Well, I think we can maybe wrap up. It was really great to get a little tour, Jeff. Thank you so much for your insights, and Alec. And everybody head on over to mountaineers.org and check out all their amazing courses and content if you're anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. It's quite.
If you're not, buy a book. We got lots of good books.
That's right.
Probably a guidebook for your area. We got them for the whole world. Lots of good biographies and narratives, and lots of good reads too.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.